Hello from GITEX 2025. I'm here together with Majda Lahlou Kassi, Ericsson Morocco President, Vice President and Customer Unit Head West and Southern Africa at Ericsson. Nice to meet you again.
Thank you, Akim. A great pleasure to meet you again here, just a few weeks after Barcelona.
Yeah, true. The time is running, I tell you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I just listened to a very interesting keynote from your side. What's next for Africa? It couldn't be more interesting and exciting. So tell us, what is next for Africa?
Thank you for the question, Akim. You know, like very often when we talk about Africa, we talk about bridging the digital divide.
Yeah.
But I really want us now to focus on what's next. And in Ericsson, we believe that next starts now. And that's the theme that we are displaying today on our booth here in GITEX Africa. And basically what we're looking at is how 5G, that is, now accelerating in the continent, can unlock the full potential of the continent, and we're doing it through different streams. So we're looking at what it brings to the consumers, we're looking at what it brings to the enterprises or public sector. But beyond that, I mean, we usually talk about B2C and B2B. Now we're talking about B2D because we're talking about developers. How can we enable the full capabilities of the network to developers so that they can, find the killer application, if we can call it, for Africa. So this is about what's next for Africa, and it's truly a collaborative effort. So it cannot happen if we're just alone. And for us, it works around 4 elements that I want to explain here. First of all, we need to have 5G everywhere. I mean, it cannot just be on hotspots. We need nationwide coverage. And then, of course, what's next is to go for 5G standalone, and then 5G advanced and 6G. And this is what will give the true experience of 5G to the consumers. The second pillar of this next generation or next era for Africa would be about open ecosystem. And as I said, I mean, it is time now for us to break the barriers and work together on what's next for Africa. And that requires that everyone in the ecosystem works together. Then I think the third part, which is super important for us, is to have the right policy framework that supports this effort. And the fourth pillar would be around consumers. I mean, our consumers are ready. Our consumer lab from Ericsson shows that consumers want a differentiated connectivity. They're no longer satisfied with just standard performance. They're even willing to pay for it. So for us, it's important to listen to the consumers, but more important is how we can, upskill them, how we can work on capacity building and digital inclusion in the continent. So these 4 elements is what constitute the efforts we're trying here to bring next now to Africa.
That sounds like a quite ambitious project if we look at it, especially on 5G. So how do you see a real live scenario of 5G in Africa when we hardly can manage 3G, 4G in a lot of areas?
Well, listen, I mean, first of all, we need to understand that 5G is no more a future concept for the continent. It's here and it's happening, and we've seen deployments in many countries. We do believe by 2030 we will see an accelerated growth of 5G, and that will become possible because devices are becoming more and more affordable for the consumers. But beyond that, I mean, let me give you a concrete example. I mean, in Africa, we talk a lot about agriculture. So not so long, a farmer in a remote area in Africa would wake up early in the morning and start his daily routine, the traditional way. Today, that same farmer still rises very early, but then has multiple possibilities powered by, AI, applications. He can check the weather on AI-powered applications. He can, monitor on, almost real time the crops prices in a marketplace, or can apply to a microloan through Ericsson Mobile Wallet. So it is the combination of all these technologies that is enabling the future and the inclusion in Africa. And all of this happens thanks, of course, to the smartphones. But one way of us, bringing this connectivity close to the farmers, for example, is the fixed wireless access. And we know 5G can offer really good connectivity and connection and broadband, similar to what fiber will offer, but much cheaper. That's basically what it does.
Okay, so you also mentioned that the the public-private partnership and regulations, policies. So how do you see does that translates into real actions?
Well, I think there are multiple ways of looking at it. I mean, I just came back from a trip to Nigeria where we showed commitment to the Nigerian government through multiple MOUs where we are bringing innovation lab. Today, just a few minutes ago, we had an MOU signed with the Minister of Economic Inclusion, where we are looking at the possibilities of putting Ericsson Educate program at the service of small enterprises and startups. So there are multiple forms of collaborating. Of course, Ericsson being present here in Morocco for over 4 decades, but in the continent for more than 100 years, we have worked very closely with the regulators, with the government, and with the operators in making sure that we bring all the know-how and the experience that we have from across the globe to the markets we operate in. But also very important is the conversation that we're having, because we have also a lot to learn from these institutions, and it's through this collaboration that we can come to the solutions that the consumer and the market expect from us.
So education, upskilling the people also plays a main role in your strategy and vision for Africa. What's next?
Absolutely. And as I said earlier, it is one of the 4 pillars that we see important for building this ecosystem. And that's why we're putting so much focus on building capacity and upskilling. And because we believe that when we educate the young generation, and in many countries, they're the ones driving innovation, we are actually enabling the next era of innovation, connectivity, but also this new business paradigm that we are expecting to happen very soon in Africa.
So you have a quite optimistic outlook.
Absolutely, always.
That's good. Thanks for your time. It was very insightful. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Tech Africa News from GITEX 2025. You can find more on techafricanews.com.